Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Judith Patterson. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Texas, and today I'm going to show you how to make a little, like a money envelope to give as gifts. It's Christmas right around the corner, and I don't know if anybody other than me gives cash at Christmas. I don't do a lot, but I have two teen daughters that really like to get cash. So, and they're very hard to shop for. They have zero things on their wish list. So it's easy to throw that into a stocking. They do get presents, but they also enjoy getting their cash. So I wanted to show you how to make this envelope. And I also wanted to make sure you know that tomorrow, which is December 8th, 2021, Stampin' Up! Is offering free shipping on all orders over $50. So that is before taxes and shipping, of course. Your total needs to hit $50, and then you can get free shipping, which is a great deal. So there's no guarantees that those orders will be here, that will arrive by Christmas, however, just because of all the shipping delays around the world right now. So they'll do their best, but we'll see. So, also, this is the last month that this happy little July to December mini catalog will be available. So many of the things in here will be retiring for good, either at the end of the month or when supplies run out, and supplies are already running out. I know the subtle shimmer sequins have already gone, as I think the Peaceful Christmas Designer Series paper has also run out. So just keep that in mind, that if there's things from this catalog that you would like and they are on the retiring list, then you need to get those orders in as soon as possible, because supplies are already running out of some things. I did check before making this video, and everything in for this project is still available except for this Evening Evergreen chevron ribbon. It's just not orderable right now. It will be back in stock. This is from the annual catalog, not the mini catalog, so you should be good. And the other things that are from the mini catalog that I'll be using are still available right now. That doesn't mean they will be tonight or tomorrow, but right now you're good. Okay, so with that out of the way, let me flip my camera around and we will start stamping. I'm kind of excited about this project. Okay, so I'm starting with a piece of Evening Evergreen cardstock cut 7 inches by 7 inches. I have it scored at 1.5 inches and then at 4.5 inches. And I'm just going to go ahead and crease these scoring lines right now with my handy bone folder. And then this is what how your card will look, or your envelope. It's kind of both. So you can open it up this way, and then we'll use tear and tape to attach the sides here. All right, so the first thing that I want to do is grab my embossing buddy, which you can use a used dryer sheet. And then I'm going to get my Versamark and my gold embossing powder. The stamp I'm using is this Merry Christmas stamp from Heartfelt Wishes. And what I want to do is make sure I'm embossing at the right place. So this part here, the small part that folds up, I'm going to emboss on that part. I'm just going to ink out my Merry Christmas really well. Oh, here you go. That's how I'm doing that. And then I'm going to try to center it as close to the top as I can get and towards the center. Can't really, can you see that? Yeah, you can. It's kind of a weird angle for me, so I hope I got that right. Oh yeah, that looks good. Okay, so now I'm going to set it over my little tray here, and I'm just going to pour this gold embossing powder over it. And I'm going to hit it again. And just shake it off from a different angle. And it looks like we're good, and it also looks like I have bedding. So it's a good idea to do this over like a piece of paper that has a crease in it so that you can just pour that back into the container. But I didn't think that far ahead this time. All right, so give me just a second, and I'm gonna heat emboss this. I'm gonna set it with the heat tool. And there you go. That is one of my favorite things ever, is using that embossing powder with that heat tool. I've had my heat tool 15 years, y'all, and it's still going strong. I got it from Stampin' Up! A way long time ago, and they've since come out with a new one that I keep thinking about purchasing, but then I think, why do that when I have one that works so great already? All right, so I'm just going to use Terran tape, but not yet. Where did I put my ribbon? Here we go. So I'm going to stretch this ribbon across the front of this. And I'm going to make it go a little bit wider. And then I'm going to cut the end off. Now I'm going to take this ribbon and I'm going to go in about right here. And I'm going to tie a faux bow. I really can tie a faux bow, y'all. Something about being on camera every time messes me up. That's what I was doing wrong. Alright, so I went over and under, if that makes sense. There we go. That looks good. So then I'm going to cut off this end. And I'm going to trim this end off a little. Now I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to put Terran tape on the back of this ribbon. And I want to make sure I get pretty close to the edges. And I want to make sure I don't go off the ribbon like I just did. So let me fix that. I'm just going to use my finger and curl that up some. There we go. So then I'm going to peel the backing off of these. And then I'm just going to place this on the top of this strip of Designer Series paper. So this is from the Ever Eden Designer Series paper, and it is only available until the end of the month or when it sells out. It is fabulous for Christmas cards. It's so pretty. And see, the other side of it is the specialty Designer Series paper because it has gold foiling on it. So I'm trying to get this ribbon to go just a little over the top edge of this card. But I also want it to be straight. This was so easy when I was just doing it for myself and not on the camera. There we go. That looks good. Well, it looks mostly good. Let me see if that'll straighten out when I put it down. Not really. think I've bent my ribbon funny right here. That looks good. And see, then I have a little bit of room to slide my faux bow around and get it where I want it. Except I just slid it onto the tear and tape. There we go. So, gonna give that a good tie again. And then what I'm gonna do is very carefully fold these ends over. Then I'm going to clip off just the end of this again. So there's not a lot of extra happening there. And then on this, I kind of frayed my ends of my faux bow here. So I'm just going to trim that up. It's still frayed. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to take that tear and tape again, and I'm going to put it on the back of this card, or this cardstock along the edges. Did I ever tell you what the measurements of this cardstock are? I don't think I did. So this measures 2 inches by 7 inches to go along the front of the card. It won't go all the way to the top on purpose. So you'll still see some of that green cardstock peeking through. So let's take the back off of this now. The good thing is, I think this is the hardest part, and this really isn't hard. I'm making it look way harder just from having camera nerves. Okay, so now I want to line this up with this edge on the card. And I'm going to go ahead while I've got my tear and tape right here. I'm going to go ahead and get a couple more little pieces and put them just on the inside of this bottom flap. And I'm getting them as close to the edge as I can without going over, so that there's plenty of room for a card to slide in there and a little bit of cash money. Or a check. A check would be good in this too. And I do know most people do gift cards now, which is great too. Maybe we'll do a gift card soon. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is get a piece of cherry cobbler cardstock, and I just want a scrap. So I'm just getting a little scrap, and I'm going to get this die from Layering Circles dies. I think it's the third one from the biggest. So there's my stamp cut and emboss machine. I'm gonna get the bottom plate, plate 2, and put my very used plate 3 on here. Then I'm just gonna run this through. Then I'm gonna take off the plate number 2 and the number 3 plates. And I'm going to get the Time Worn Top embossing folder. I was so happy to see that this one is being carried over. I love this embossing folder so much. So I'm going to put that in there. And then I'm going to grab my number 4 plate, put it on top to make my sandwich, my embossing folder sandwich. Run that through. have this wonderful circle that is embossed. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is, while I have this out, I'm going to grab that number 2 and number 3 plate again. I'm going to scoot this over so you can see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to get the Christmas tree dies. And I'm going to start by cutting out just a scrap of paper. Let's see if this scrap is big enough. Look at that, sure is. So I'm going to start with one of each of these trees. Okay, now I'm going to pull these back out, and then I'm going to cut one more of the shorter trees. So if your embossing plate, or your embossing plate, but if your cutting plate is as used as mine is, sometimes things stick. So I use another piece of cardstock, and you can just kind of scrape it and it'll pick up. Okay, now while I have this out, I'm going to go ahead and cut one more of each of these trees, but with green cardstock. So I'm going to grab a scrap piece of Evening Evergreen and a scrap piece of Soft Succulent. You can buy these cardstocks individually, like in packages, but the colors individually, or you can buy the 2021 to 2023 in color cardstock package and get a few of each of the new in colors. Okay, so I'm just folding that up and getting it out of the way. I'm gonna set these aside. So now I've got 3 white Christmas trees, and then a soft succulent and an evening evergreen. And I'm going to add just a little bit of Wink of Stella to this. So I'm turning my silicone mat upside down because I've been using it a lot, and the other side is very, very sticky. So I'm grabbing my Wink of Stella. And of course, this step is totally optional. So I always keep this little ring that comes on the Wink of Stella in the pen when it's not being used. And I like to squeeze on the side so that I don't end up with a big glob. And a little bit of this goes a really long way. I am ordering a new Wink of Stella on my next order because I think mine is about empty. But I still get a little bit of that shimmer, which is what I'm looking for. I'm gonna put that ring back in. So let me see if you can see this if I hold it up. Nope, I don't think the shimmer is going to come through. But just trust me, it's shimmering a little bit. So the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab these trees while this is drying just a bit. And then I'm going to use a dollop of liquid glue. And I just keep this little sponge on my desk. It's a sponge dauber. I like to dab it in my puddle of glue and then dab it on the back of whatever it is I'm gluing. And I do this on my silicone sheet because then I can just rub it off my silicone sheet. And I don't have to worry about it getting on my desk or anything. So this piece of paper, it's a basic white cardstock. It measures 6 inches by 2 3/4 inches. And I'm just going to glue these trees over here on the side. If it sticks off a little, that's okay. There we go. So that's just the inside piece. So if you want to write a message to whoever you're giving your card to, this is where I would write the message. So I'm going to go ahead and turn these over. I'm going to glue this first one kind of in the middle, almost all the way to the top of the circle. It doesn't have to be perfectly centered, just kind of towards the middle. I'm going to add some more glue to each of these shorter trees. I'm going to place one kind of overlapping this one. Just holding it down for a minute so it gets stuck on there. And then this one I'm going to place more towards the side, and I'm going to lower it, but not that low. There we go. And now I'm going to grab my paper snips. I'm going to flip this over, and I'm just going to trim the ends of these trees off of the circle. I'm going to use my Stampin' Dimensionals. I like a lot of Stampin' Dimensionals, so I'm using 5. You can probably get away with 4, really easy. So, pardon my arm there. I would then put some money in the pocket, and then you can put your card in front of that. There you go. It's a quick and simple. It really is simple. I know I made that ribbon bit look a little crazy, but it really is easy, and it doesn't take much time at all to put this one together, or several of these together. I hope that you like it. Like I said, I was kind of excited about this one. And you could change it up to be a birthday card or baby shower card or just anything. Just change the colors and the stamps and you are good to go for any occasion with this one. So thank you for watching. If you liked this video, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I love it whenever I get notified that I have a new subscriber. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll be happy to answer those. And I have changed my Facebook Live time to 6 p.m. on Thursday evening. So if you can join me over on my Facebook page Thursday, that's Central Time, I would love to have you join me for a live. I hope you have a wonderful week. Happy stamping.